mentioning that people often say, how are you together? Because we are very different. Bill's Mr. Relaxed and really calm, and his heart beats at 40 beats a minute. I'm more like, high energy. When we were studying in the city, just as we were finishing our, my podiatry degree, my friends and I, there was a few there was jobs in the city, but they were like you had to do a day here and 2 days here, and you'd be all over the city. I want to work in the big regional centres. You have bigger clinics, and I wanted to work within a big group so that I'd be with other clinicians. So I thought that was best for my clinical development, and so I was offered positions in Albury and Wagga. That's where I applied, and I was offered positions and chose Wagga. My sister was studying in Wagga. She was studying radiography, and so I moved to Wagga.
I was house sitting, and one of the local podiatrists came to see me, and she asked if a young 21-year-old girl could move in with me for a week until her accommodation kicked in, and I was quite happy to take it. A 21-year-old girl into our house for a week, and so I was literally the first person she'd met in Wagga, and I always say compared to nobody, I was all right.
So we were living in London and planning on coming back to Wagga, and there wasn't positions available. So Bill nudged me actually, and he said, you should open a clinic and work for yourself, and so we did. So we lived in that house for a few years before in the Scooters building. It was a milk bar. People in the street who are quite elderly, can tell you the whole history. But there was apparently a talk of a man who used to cut toenails in that building at one point in as well. When we first started our clinic, we went to meet with the accountant, and he said, I think business is only suited to someone who can switch off. It took me probably 11 years to work out how to do that. It's a great job. It is. I am so happy that I'm a podiatrist still. I think it's a really feel-good profession in that, someone comes in and they walk out feeling instantly better. You see some people long-term, and then some people you see for a 3-month sort of stint. You see whole families, people bring their kids back to you and you watch them grow up. It's a great job. And you make a massive difference to people's lives and their quality of life. Within 2 years of starting the clinic, I had to make a decision as to whether I make this a part-time 2-day-a-week clinic or whether we go big, and we just decided to have a go. So then the expenses increase, and the pressure increases, and so I had Ruben, our firstborn, and I never really had maternity leave with any of our children. So because we were either about to go into a growth phase or in the middle of a growth phase or just on the tail end of it, so it was not easy. Ruben's a beautiful, peaceful soul, and when something excites him, he gets in and just gets it done. Jasper's our second child. He was born early, and we always look ahead for him. He's always a step ahead of us. And Tom's just in kinder, and he's lovely. He's got a wacky sense of humour, and he's got his friends, and he's good too. And then Annie, it's lovely having a girl as well. She's bouncy and dances, and is good fun. I think as the third and fourth kids, it's like a party all the time. The decisions we were making, Bill and I were making the whole way along, we make sure we were protecting family life.
Their family is number one. Family is their priority. We see the children come in here sometimes, and they're beautiful, well-behaved, lovely children, and it's obvious that Lina spends and Bill, that they spend a lot of time with the children. Well, they knew they wanted to grow the business, and they had got the business to a certain point. Lina has put in the blood, sweat and tears for all these years. Having the accounting and the business background that I have, they thought that I would be good to bring that extra knowledge into the business. Well, I was lucky enough to start just as the renovations were starting. So this business has now, the actual premises has doubled in size. It started off this little sort of pokey premises, and now it's grown into this beautiful purpose-built building. But not only that, we've doubled the size of the premises, and we've also now got 8 podiatrists.
And attracting podiatrists was a big issue. There was none. When we first started our clinic, there was no podiatrists around.
I was a podiatrist, obviously I'm a podiatrist, and was working in Queensland at the time. Grew up in Albury-Wodonga, and had a friend that had previously worked with Lina and Bill. Word got through that we were coming home, and Lina somehow got my phone number, and then the rest is sort of history.
It's really interesting because I always, when I was in a meeting, when it was just me, I would talk in terms of we. You know, and one of the doctors said once, why do you say we? I always probably had visions of a team, and you know, now we have a team, and you're really proud of that, you know, your team, and you know, and what each individual brings. It is cool to watch it evolve when it's not all you doing it. You know, just lots of different things come about that you didn't ever anticipate. I really like that, but then it brings other challenges, like you know, it takes your business to a whole nother level with requirements. Really big change for us was really quite early on when we implemented a mentoring program in our clinic, and it's a real, I suppose, is it a cornerstone for what we do still? So we've worked on that for 9 years and kept developing and evolving that. So that really made sure that our podiatrists were doing fantastic quality work, and I think that really just sort of cemented us as a, you know, quality clinic.
From a professional perspective, that part of it has been hugely successful for us, because we get not only great podiatrists, but we went very quickly from struggling to recruit people to the best of every year wanted to come and develop their skills under that sort of system.
There comes a point where you have to make your business or clinic sustainable. You know, and we've just probably achieved that. It's taken us a long time to be able to make our clinic sustainable.
It gets bigger because it's enjoyable and sustainable, and if it's not sustainable, we don't do it. The reason why our life is so great is because we're not just big at all costs. We're living a great life because we're not trying to win on the scoreboard.
Everyone else who was working for us were paying a lot more than we were ever paying ourselves. And there was 3 times where we went back to zero when we were in a growth phase, you know, and so that takes a bit of nerve, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, and we're probably unique in the size and scale of our clinic compared to most operators. We've got 2 dedicated gate labs, which are wired in for lights, cameras. We get video, audio feedback of participants on that. We also have fungal nail lasers, which is a surgical laser. We also have dollar class therapy as well. So there's been a lot of time and money invested in secondary infrastructure of units that are, you know, in the tens of thousands of dollars that make our life as a clinician really easy to do. We do have on-site sterilising, so the girls do all that for us as far as the autoclaves. You know, smaller practices will have to take that to a CSD unit in a hospital. We've already got that stuff here on site. We've got a fully dedicated orthotics laboratory where we can actually mill, adjust and set up things on site, so there's no toing and froing between labs and the clinic itself. The other great advantage we've got here as well is that lovely showroom out the front, so we can sort of do that one-stop shop. We can control as many variables in a patient's treatment outcomes all in the one place, and we end up people walking out here pain-free, which is cool.
Once someone is comfortable enough to be able to do what they want to do, I think that is success. Then being able to enjoy your family and have holidays and not be exhausted all the time like I was for years, 10 years, is really lovely.
Because this is the healthcare industry, I think one of the signs of success here is how much you care about your clientele. So how do you care about your patients? Do you really care about them? And that's something I see in Lina.
Her passion for first and foremost podiatry and making sure that people are fit, happy and healthy inside this region is testament to why we've got to where we are.
Lina has so much drive that she comes into the clinic and it's almost like a whirlwind. I can't keep up with her.
The opportunities that we've had here to have your cake and eat it, I think are fantastic.
It's a it's a passion to do something really well, you know, and make a difference to people's lives.